Imagine a world where every moment is devoted to comfort and pleasure. A world of endless entertainment, distractions at your fingertips, indulgences designed to satisfy every craving. At first glance, it sounds like paradise. But the question remains, what would it cost you to live in such a place? Aldous Huxley, in his prophetic novel Brave New World, painted this picture vividly. In his imagined society, people were not enslaved by chains or fear. They were pacified by soma, a drug that guaranteed contentment even when life was meaningless. Huxley warned that the most dangerous form of control is not tyranny of force, but tyranny of pleasure, so intoxicating that resistance feels unnecessary. Now reflect on today's world. Every ping of a notification, every scroll through social media, every algorithm-curated video is our modern soma. We are not coerced into obedience. We are distracted into it. Psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, known for his work on flow, pointed out that technology can create moments of deep engagement, but also trap us in addictive cycles that leave us drained rather than fulfilled. Think about your own habits. How often do you reach for your phone to feel a spark of joy, only to find hours have passed and you feel emptier than before? This is the dark side of pleasure. Modern psychology calls it the hedonic treadmill, the phenomenon where no matter how much joy we achieve, we adapt quickly, and the satisfaction fades. The next craving rises, the next fix begins, and the cycle repeats endlessly. Carl Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul." And here lies the danger. Pleasure becomes the mask we wear to avoid truth. Instead of confronting discomfort, we chase distraction. Instead of pursuing meaning, we drown in indulgence. But avoidance never frees us. It quietly chains us. Research confirms what Huxley foresaw. A 2020 study in the Journal of Affective Disorders found that excessive screen time, especially on social media, correlates strongly with higher levels of anxiety and depression. The more disconnected we feel, the more we seek solace in the very devices deepening our misery. It is a cycle that feeds itself, pain followed by distraction, followed by deeper pain. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and the author of Man's Search for Meaning, offered a powerful insight. He wrote, "Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose. Pleasure without meaning is hollow. It numbs the surface while the void beneath grows wider. When purpose is absent, distraction rushes in to fill the space." This raises a personal question. Are you living a life of purpose, or are you letting the pursuit of pleasure dictate your choices? Every day you are faced with decisions. Do you binge another series or spend time with those you love? Do you scroll aimlessly or invest in your growth? Each choice seems small, but together they shape the architecture of your life. Huxley once remarked, "Most human beings have an almost infinite capacity for taking things for granted. And in our endless search for pleasure, we risk taking for granted the deeper joys, relationships, creativity, discovery, contribution. When these are neglected, life becomes a series of empty highs, followed by inevitable lows." This brings us to a crucial insight. Pleasure pursued recklessly does not lead to freedom. It forges invisible chains. Chains that bind us not with force but with cravings. Chains that drain our energy, steal our time, and limit our potential. So pause and reflect. Are you truly free, or are you a consumer in a world profiting from your desires? This is not merely philosophy. It is the starting point of self-liberation. To see the chains is the first act of breaking them. And in seeing them, you begin the journey not toward more pleasure, but toward real freedom. In the past, wealth was measured in land, gold, or oil. Today, the most valuable resource is not physical at all, It is your attention. Every platform, every advertisement, every notification is designed for one purpose: to capture and hold it. Think of this carefully. If something is free, you are not the customer, you are the product. Your data, your habits, and most importantly, your attention are what companies buy and sell. Your focus has become the raw material of the modern economy. Carl Jung once said, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." And what you do most of the time is where your attention flows. If your attention is scattered, your life is scattered. If your attention is owned by others, so is your life. Philosopher Herbert Simon predicted this decades ago when he wrote, "A wealth of information creates a poverty of attention." He foresaw the trap we now live in, an age of abundance that robs us of the very focus we need to thrive. The more we are flooded with noise, the less we can distinguish signal. And the less we can distinguish signal, the easier it is to be manipulated. Think about your daily routine. How often do you reach for your phone without intention? How often do you check notifications that add no real value? This is not weakness, it is design. Every buzz, every red dot, every endless scroll is engineered to hijack the brain's reward system. You are not failing against distraction. You are up against billion-dollar industries that study your psychology more carefully than you do. Nietzsche once warned, "The most perfidious way of harming a cause consists of defending it deliberately with faulty arguments." In today's terms, the most dangerous way to undermine your freedom is not to chain your body, but to scatter your attention until you no longer know what matters. Neuroscience shows that attention is not infinite. It is energy. And like energy, it can be depleted, drained, and redirected. Every time you give it away to trivial noise, you have less left for meaning, creation, and growth. Attention is the currency of your life. Spend it poorly and you bankrupt yourself without even knowing it. Carl Jung also wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Much of our attention is spent unconsciously, pulled by algorithms we barely notice. We think we are choosing, but we are being chosen, guided toward outrage, novelty, and endless distraction because it keeps us scrolling. And the longer we scroll, the more profitable we become. The danger is not only personal, it is collective. When entire populations have their attention fractured, societies lose the ability to think deeply, to reflect, to challenge. Politics becomes sound bites. Relationships become text bubbles. Wisdom is replaced with reaction. And a culture without attention is a culture without depth. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. But the quality of your thoughts depends on the quality of your attention." If your attention is scattered by noise, your thoughts cannot rise above it. If your attention is harnessed with intention, your thoughts gain power. So ask yourself, who owns your attention today? Is it you or is it the platforms profiting from your every glance? Every time you reclaim a moment of focus, you reclaim a piece of your life. The economy of attention will not disappear. It is too profitable, too entrenched. But you can choose not to be its passive product. You can choose to spend your attention like the precious currency it is. Because in the end, your life is nothing more than the sum of what you paid attention to. And if you want a life of depth, meaning, and freedom, you must learn to spend it wisely. The modern world trains us to chase quick rewards. A sugar rush instead of nourishment. A notification instead of connection. A fleeting laugh instead of genuine joy. And slowly, without noticing, we begin to trade long-term fulfillment for short-term relief. Carl Jung wrote, "Every form of addiction is bad, no matter whether the narcotic be alcohol, morphine, or idealism." This is the heart of the problem. We are addicted not only to substances, but to patterns of instant gratification. We crave the spark, the rush, the momentary high while ignoring the emptiness that follows. Psychologists call this the pleasure paradox. The more we chase pleasure directly, the less satisfying it becomes. It is like drinking salt water. The more you consume, the thirstier you feel. Pleasure is meant to be a byproduct of meaning, but when pursued as the goal itself, it turns against us. Nietzsche once said, "He who despises himself still respects himself as one who despises." The same is true of pleasure. When we despise the emptiness it leaves, we still return to it, respecting its pull, obeying its call. We know it is hollow, yet we cannot resist the cycle. Think about the times you've indulged in the quick fix. The food that tasted good but left you sluggish. The endless scrolling that killed an hour but left you drained. The impulse purchase that excited you briefly but filled you with regret later. Each moment promised happiness but delivered fatigue. It wasn't fulfillment, it was theft. Carl Jung also warned, "The shoe that fits one person pinches another." There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. This means not every quick pleasure is inherently wrong. But when pleasure becomes the default response to discomfort, it becomes a trap. We stop asking what truly nourishes us and settle for what numbs us fastest. Science confirms this cycle. Dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, spikes in anticipation of pleasure, not in the pleasure itself. This is why the first bite tastes better than the 10th, why the first scroll feels more exciting than the 50th. The brain adapts, the high fades, and the craving grows stronger. Soon, we are not chasing joy, we are chasing the memory of joy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If your thoughts are dominated by cravings, your soul becomes restless. If your thoughts are directed toward meaning, your soul becomes steady. The constant pursuit of quick highs stains the soul with anxiety and leaves no room for peace. Real happiness is quieter, slower, and more demanding. It is built in the discipline of effort, the patience of growth, the resilience of sacrifice. But because it requires work, many turn away, seeking easier substitutes. The tragedy is that the easy road always costs more in the end. Nietzsche also remarked, "To live is to suffer, to survive is to find some meaning in the suffering." Happiness is not the absence of struggle, it is the presence of meaning. And meaning is forged in discomfort, not in distraction. Quick pleasures rob us twice, first of our time and then of our opportunity to grow. So the question is not, how do I stop craving pleasure? The real question is, what deeper fulfillment am I avoiding by settling for false satisfaction? When you face that question honestly, you begin to see the trade you've been making. You realize that lasting happiness has always been available, but hidden beneath the noise of cravings. And when you choose meaning over momentary relief, you are not just resisting pleasure, you are reclaiming your life. Most of us spend our lives avoiding pain. We seek comfort, we pursue ease, and we mistake relief for happiness. But in doing so, we ignore a profound truth. Pain is not always an enemy. Often, it is the doorway to transformation. Carl Jung wrote, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain. Awareness is costly. To see yourself clearly, to face the illusions you've lived under, to confront the shadow you've denied, this process hurts. And yet, it is the only way to grow." Friedrich Nietzsche declared, "To live is to suffer, to survive is to find some meaning in the suffering." The presence of pain is unavoidable. What defines us is not whether we suffer, but whether we turn suffering into meaning. Without meaning, pain corrodes us. With meaning, pain refines us. Think about moments of deep growth in your own life. Were they born in times of ease? Or did they emerge in the aftermath of heartbreak, loss, failure, or rejection? Comfort may soothe us, but it does not transform us. It is pain, discomfort, and resistance that break us open and force us to rebuild stronger. Psychologists have long studied this phenomenon, calling it post-traumatic growth. Some individuals emerge from crises with greater resilience, deeper empathy, and a clearer sense of purpose. Not because suffering itself is noble, but because they engaged with it consciously. They did not run from it, they wrestled with it until it revealed its lessons. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is the paradox. Obstacles are not detours, they are the path itself. What you resist most fiercely is often what you most need to face. Yet the modern world trains us to escape at the first sign of discomfort. We reach for distraction, for dopamine, for the nearest source of relief. But each escape robs us of an opportunity to grow. The pain you avoid today becomes the weakness you carry tomorrow. Carl Jung warned that one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. To transform pain, we must first acknowledge it. Not suppress it, not deny it, not disguise it. We must sit with it, listen to it, and ask what it is trying to teach. Consider the analogy of fire. Gold is purified only by enduring heat. In the same way, the psyche is purified by confronting discomfort. When you run from the fire, you remain unshaped. When you step into it, you emerge refined. Pain, then, is not a punishment. It is an initiation. It strips away illusions, exposes fragility, and reveals what is truly solid within you. It demands courage, but it also offers freedom. Nietzsche also observed, "You must have chaos within you to give birth to a dancing star." That chaos, the struggle, the conflict, the pain, is not wasted when you face it. It is the soil of creativity, resilience, and strength. So the next time you feel discomfort rising, resist the urge to escape. Pause. Notice. What is this teaching me? Every pang of pain carries a message. Every resistance marks the boundary of your growth. Lasting satisfaction rarely comes in the moment of indulgence. It comes after walking through the fire, after facing what you feared, after proving to yourself that you could endure. Pain is not the opposite of fulfillment. It is its foundation. So remember this. Do not fear discomfort. It is the crucible of growth. Do not flee from pain. It is the invitation to transformation. And when you dare to face it, you will discover that beneath the suffering lies the very strength you were searching for all along. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. It is not the absence of rules, nor the endless pursuit of comfort. True freedom is the ability to live with clarity, purpose, and integrity, even when life is painful. Carl Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This is the heart of freedom. Not escape, not indulgence, but becoming. A freedom that is rooted not in distraction, but in wholeness. For too long we have confused freedom with avoidance. We thought freedom was found in endless choices, quick pleasures, and instant relief. But those very choices became chains. The pleasures dulled into addictions. The relief hollowed into emptiness. Freedom without meaning is just another prison. Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "No price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself." And this is the price most people are unwilling to pay. To own yourself means to face the discomfort you've avoided. It means confronting your shadow, admitting your flaws, and choosing responsibility over excuses. It is costly, but it is the only kind of freedom worth having. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The world will always throw distractions, temptations, and illusions at you. But freedom is not about silencing the world. It is about mastering your mind so deeply that the world no longer dictates your choices. Carl Jung also warned, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Freedom comes not by pretending the shadow is gone, but by integrating it. When you accept both your light and your darkness, you stop living in fragments. You stop wasting energy hiding parts of yourself. You become whole. Wholeness does not mean perfection. It means nothing inside you is denied. Your fears, your desires, your mistakes, they all have a place. And when nothing is denied, nothing controls you. This is the secret of freedom. Not escape from the self, but union with the self. Nietzsche also wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Purpose transforms struggle into meaning. When you live with a clear why, pain becomes bearable, sacrifice becomes honorable, and even failure becomes fuel. Meaning is the force that carries freedom from theory into practice. Think about the life you truly want. Not the life of constant stimulation, but the life of depth. Not the life of shallow happiness, but the life of lasting fulfillment. That life is built not in escape, but in engagement. Not in avoidance, but in courage. Freedom is not a gift waiting to be handed to you. It is a discipline, a choice, a way of living. It is built every time you choose honesty over illusion, meaning over distraction, wholeness over fragmentation. So remember this. Freedom is not found in indulgence. It is found in responsibility. It is not found in escape. It is found in presence. It is not found in perfection. It is found in wholeness. Carl Jung was right. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And when you finally stop running, stop numbing, stop avoiding, you step into that privilege. You discover freedom not as the absence of chains, but as the presence of meaning. And in that moment, you are no longer half alive, pulled between cravings and fears. You are whole. You are free. And you are finally living the life that was waiting for you all along.